Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. This one is for all the marbles, the main event of the evening. It's the Martial Combat Championship belt. And today, only one man will lift it in victory. Fighting out of the blue corner, from Seoul, South Korea, he's an ex-soldier from the feared Korean Special Forces, weighing in at 66 kilograms. Put your hands together for JONG Special Force Monkey! Looking to emulate his countrymen from the same Cornhusker state of Omaha, Nebraska, USA. This fighter has a deadly reputation of steel-like determination that precedes him wherever he goes. Weighing in at 66 kilograms, known as the Man of Steel, Aaron Steele! Of the evening, brought to you by ESPN Star Sports and Resorts World Sentosa. This Superfight Championship belt is scheduled for 5 rounds of 5 minutes each. This professional MMA fight is conducted under the unified rules as sanctioned by the Asian MMA Federation and the WMAF. Our cage-side medical staff and doctors are from Changi Sports Medical Center, and they are standing by. The judges for this fight are Brett Gleason, Judd Sanchez, and Joey Lipperton. Your referee for this fight, Mr. Steve Percival. All right, it's time for combat! Fighting out of the blue corner, he is one of Asia's most experienced homegrown MMA fighters. Standing at 170 centimeters tall and weighing in at 66 kilograms, he has over 34 victories to his name and fight experience from around the world, which makes him one of the top-ranked fighters in Asia. With a pro MMA record of 34 wins, 9 losses, and 3 draws, he is known as the ex-soldier, Special Forces, JONG! And introducing and fighting out of the red corner, this man is standing at 176 centimeters tall and weighs in at 66 kilograms. He's a world-class fighter with an extensive Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing background. He has earned a reputation for delivering non-stop, damaging strikes to his opponents. His MMA fight record is an impressive 14 wins and 8 losses. From the Cornhusker state of Omaha, Nebraska, United States of America, and representing TC Train, the man of steel, Aaron Stay!
It's the United States against Korea. Jong Man Kim against Aaron Steele. And I know, Ray LB, you're a big fan of the Korean, who's had a big fight career here. 34 wins, 9 losses, and 3 draws. Hasn't won for 2 years, but there's a good reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, John Man Kim, he faced Hideo Takoro, Masanori Kanira. He beat Hatsui Hioki. So this is a guy that's competed at the top level of his sport, not just in Korea, but in Japan as well. I mean, you guys are witnessing an A-level world-class athlete here.
In the black army fatigues then, it's Jong Man Kim against Aaron Steele, who has a 14-8 record, came into the ring and did a series of sprints. Very low stance he's got, hasn't he, Steele? Comes in with a left hand right up above us here in our commentary position. And Jong just missed with a sweeping short right hook.
Jong Man Kim, great takedown defense there, showing that cattle guard where both arms shoot into the armpits to defend the takedown. Really looks to take the center of the ring and keep it here.
You know, I noticed that Aaron Steele has a cut just at the top of his nose and the sort of the inside of his eye. It's a graze more than a cut, but I'm pretty sure it happened before the fight. It was there before the fight, and it's streaming blood already. I think it was something maybe that his trainer did to him while they were applying Vaseline. With friends like that, who needs enemies? You can see the blood just looks to me as if it's coming down the inside of the nose there.
Crowd already here getting a bit impatient. Obviously, with 4 fights ending in the first round tonight, they're expecting action. But the great thing about mixed martial arts is you let the fight involve itself. You know, you don't rush perfection. You just wait for it to happen, and good things will happen. So respect to both of the fighters in this filling out process.
Well, it may have been short contest, but certainly no shortage of action.
Again, Aaron Steele looking to flurry on the feet and get into the clinch. Good defense here by the fighter from Korea.
Right kick to the Korean's upper left thigh. They haven't been on the deck yet. Steele is a wrestler, so he'll be comfortable if it goes to the canvas.
John Man Kim has a decision win over Sung Hwang Bang, who's considered by many to be the top Korean fighter out there right now, fighting Gomi and Senguko, several other large promotions. So he's obviously not afraid to let his hands go. More of a boxer than a Thai fighter, though, which is why you see these low kicks working so effectively against him.
Yeah, he favors that right hand to the thigh to Steele. And we just saw a swinging left go up around the head area. It didn't connect cleanly, though.
Still another fighter who just flew in. You have to wonder, the longer this fight goes, with this being a 5-round, 5-minute bout, if jet lag is going to play a part into this fight.
Yeah, good point. Just to clarify, that's 5 rounds of 5 minutes each, so it's potentially a 25-minute contest. No wonder then that they're taking it steadily in the center of the ring in this first round, just feeling each other out. Oh, that was dangerous. You don't really want to turn your back on someone of JONG Man Kim's experience. 46 MMA fights on his record. He's won 34 of them. And down they go.
Good single leg here. John Man Kim into the closed guard. You see he's working that right overhook, keeping control of his posture by holding his head down. Steele here looking to bring him to the fence, utilize that fence. But
what advantage can he get from pushing him up against the cage there, Ray?
You know, one of the ideas about pushing in a fighter up against the fence is it's supposed to limit his hip mobility. So you see he's trying to make it to where he can't push out. One of the negative things about that, though, is it gives your fighter the ability to use his back against the fence and work his way up, which is what you see
which is what he's doing
here.
Much to the appreciation of the crowd. And down he goes, and he landed on his head there. Now that could do some damage.
Good single leg, but he's back into his guard, and it looks as if he's got maybe some sort of a guillotine attempt here. I really can't see, obviously, because the camera angle's on the far side. But at the very least, he's keeping control of the posture, making sure no effective strikes are landing here. Basically looking for the fight to get back up to its feet somehow. Aaron here looking to pass through the center of his guard here, looking to drive his leg through. He's in jeopardy being swept here, though. He needs to make sure he keeps his base. If he doesn't keep his base here, he will be reversed.
Neither fighter bothered about throwing punches in this position, just struggling to get the advantageous hold. Now there's some punches going in, really not of too much power, although they're increasing in intensity.
Again, this is a bit of a stall position. It doesn't look like that choke is really effectively doing anything. Looks like Aaron Steele really needs to push down on that knee and try to pass if he's going to. There we go. Establishes the pass. You hear the claps with 10 seconds left in the round. Really, I didn't see much out of this round. I'd probably scored as a 10-9 for Aaron Steele, but not much more than just effectively winning the round.
Now the second round is underway.
UFC referee Steve Percival in the ring, making sure that both of these fighters are well protected as they start round 2.
And again, Steele likes to kick this one off, literally kick this one off with that blow to the upper thigh of the Korean. Good to see fighters staying on their feet for a while so that these fans can see a good range of MMA action. There's plenty of canvas work. But as we saw in the fight just before, an awful lot can be done when you're standing toe-to-toe.
Yeah, these 4-ounce gloves, they don't offer the same protection that a boxing glove offers.
No, indeed.
With the simple fact that, obviously, I can't cover my face with a shield.
But, of course, with them being lighter in terms of weight, then there's less protection to the actual punch itself. And it's a heavy, almost as if it's a bare-knuckle punch. Very painful, more likely to open a cut.
I'd like to see Aaron Steele stay on that leg kick. You know, he's letting too much time go in between those leg kicks. And the thing about a leg kick is it's not going to be instant gratification. It's one of those things that you need to start with and consistently go back to. I don't know if he's trying to prevent himself from being taken down or if he's just not getting good advice from his corner. But it's been landing, so go back to what works for you.
Well, both of them orthodox style, leading with their left hand. It's Steele who likes to be the busier. He likes to go nice and low. A little bit more movement from him, but they're both taking the center of the ring. Jong's fighting as they stand up not quite as impressive. His jabs are way short of the mark, and of course, if this does go the distance, then it'll go to the judges' scorecards. So it's a good idea to catch their eye and not just be totally focused on an early finish.
JONG Kim doing a good job there with that left underhook. With that left arm dig deep into his armpit, he's able to control the action. He's trying to prevent the takedown here, trying to rotate Aaron into the fence if he can. Good clean break there, end it with a right hook.
Left hand from JONG as they came out of that break as well, which will catch the judge's eye. There's a sheen of sweat on the Korean's back as he completes the 7th minute of his work here tonight.
Another good low kick by Aaron. Again, I'd like to see him go back to that. I mean, it's working for you, right? If you're finding success with your strikes early, then you need to find success with those strikes often. And that's one of the things I try to tell my guys. You know, if it works for you early, don't break what's not broken, you know?
Yeah, if one is good, two is better. Huh? Left, right. The left was short. The right got fended away by Aaron Steele's guard. If so much of this fight is going to take place standing up, then the Korean needs to land better punches.
Standing at 5'7", it looks like the Korean's got a little bit of a height disadvantage here, so he needs to step in a little bit further on those jabs. He's flicking the jabs out, but they're not coming from the body. You know, they're coming straight arm punches. He's flicking them out, and he's staying active, just filling them out there, but he needs to step in and actively engage those strikes in order for them to connect.
Well, the blood on the inside of Steele's nose seems to have stemmed. Don't think that's going to be a factor in this fight. And a left kick to the side of the head. Caught the Korean flush enough to see him go down.
Aaron doing a good job here. He's got his right underhook, and that arm around the head by the Korean fighter really isn't doing much. Right now he's in jeopardy of getting mounted. He's in jeopardy of having his back taken. Armbar, Kimura. There's a variety of options available here to Aaron Steele.
Steele's right hand was pinned by the Korean's body, but he's got that free now. And there he's using his forearm to batter the Korean's head onto the canvas. All of this very legal.
But none of those strikes effectively doing much damage. JONG Kim still in the half guard here. I'd like to try to see him bump back and get into the full guard. But after being head kicked, he might be trying to just ride out the round. With it being a 25-minute fight, I could see him trying to just recover right out the last 10 seconds of this round and regroup for round 3.
Yep, that sounds like a good ploy. There it is, the left elbow. Third round is underway. Steele looking purposeful, takes the center of the ring. And again, that familiar swinging right kick to the Korean's upper thigh.
Aaron Steele's doing a good job on those leg kicks. But again, I'd like to see him use it a bit more. You know, it's working. Every single leg kick you've thrown's land. Part of the reason why that head kick was so effective is because of the fact that you landed so many to the lower body.
And they land in isolation as well. There's no attempt to follow up with the leg kick. Of course. Oh, and the Korean using his hands to good effect there. Getting this crowd to their feet at Resorts World Sentosa. 4 punches thrown. Another 3. Steele's guard helping him out. But that jab landed. And the Korean is...
Kim starting to come alive here. You have to start to wonder, is Aaron going to start fading? Is jet lag going to start playing an issue into this bout?
Well, the longer this fight goes on, the more of a factor that is bound to be. And is the Korean starting to realize that?
Good. I'd like to see JONG Kim do more of that. If you're going to eat those leg kicks and you're not going to check them or block them, then you need to counter strike off of that. Throw that leading left hook, throw that straight right, step in. Don't just take one and give nothing back. Oh, good block there. The crowd getting animated behind the fighter from Nebraska. Neither one of these fighters have really worked to the body. Both of these fighters have basically been exclusively with leg kicks and then head hunting. I'd like to see one of these guys try to work in a punch to the body or a mid-body kick. One of the things about going high and then going low is it keeps your opponent guessing.
Well, it's interesting. Steele's defense to the Koreans' left hooks to the chin and to sort of the upper body is all elbows, and that means if you catch the elbow with that fist, which is not fully gloved, as we've mentioned already, can be quite painful. You could perhaps break a finger there or certainly do some damage.
Yeah, very common defense with the mixed martial arts gloves being so small. With the ability of the fight to change in literally the one strike landing, a lot of fighters will cover and shield using their elbows almost like they're combing the back of their head.
That's some leg work there from the Korean. Again, that's the third such kick with his left leg to the inside of Steele's left knee. Keep those coming, and that's going to be quite debilitating for the American. Yet to see that before this round from the Korean. And maybe the Korean is just starting to find his feet, find a little bit of confidence that he may have the superior fitness if this fight goes on. Very, very interesting contest. We're still taking the first 2 rounds on Ray Elby's card. We are halfway through this fight, and there is plenty to come. Oh, an overhand swinging right hand that fell short and was, let's just say, slightly telegraphed.
Both fighters seem content to let the bout play its course out on the feet, which you can hear the crowd's emotion to that. They like to see the striking. They like to see the boxing and the Muay Thai and the karate and the mixed martial arts striking.
It's livening up a bit here, isn't it? And the crowd are getting behind it. A swinging left hand just falls a whisker short of the American's face. And a jab from the Korean really is building in confidence. And there again is that left kick to the inside of the American's left knee. Working on that area.
Now again, Aaron is a bandit, that lower leg kick.
Caught him there. Another swinging left hand just caught the American on the chin. How this fight has turned. At a lower level of intensity, the American was on top. And the Korean has lifted things.
One of the things about Jong Man Kim, and we brought this up at the beginning of the fight, is he hasn't won a fight since he beat Hatsu Hayoki in 2007, who coincidentally was the Shido champion. And he's had some very, very, very tough bouts, Hideko Tekoro and Mitsunori Kanera, but all those losses have been by decision. And one of the things that happens is when you've lost several fights in a row, sometimes along the way, especially when you've had 50 fights, you don't forget how to fight, but you forget how to win.
Forget how to win. I was just about to make that point. Yeah, very true. Round 4. 2 rounds awarded to the American, 1 to the Korean on our scorecard at ringside. But it's the Korean who seems to have the shift in the balance of power.
Man Kim has a great leading left hook here. That's a fight changer. That's one of those punches that if he lands that can change the course of the bout, definitely.
Oh, as Steele brought his head down, the Korean, Jong Man Kim, connected with a kick. And that was quite a heavy blow. And another of one of those overarching right hands that again fell off the mark. He's got a nasty habit of throwing those punches. They'll tire you out. They're glaring when they miss.
Good takedown attempt here. Jong Man Kim right into the guillotine, but unless he's able to get back into his guard, this is going to be a hard submission to finish. I'd like to see him try to utilize the fence, try to work his way back up. Aaron Steele's doing a good job of locking his arms around the lower body of Jong Man Kim, which gives him the ability to pull him away from the fence, make it harder to stand up.
No more than 10 feet away from us here at ringside. And Steele's face, for a moment there, was jammed into the canvas. He's got it up 6 inches from the floor now, and his right hand is free to try and do some work.
Jong Man Kim working that over-under grip. what he's trying to do is he's trying to sweep him over, using that right arm across his back and the left arm into the armpit. He's going to try to jimmy him over. I don't know if that's effectively going to work or not. He's working a neck crank submission here as well. Both of those.
Escapes, wriggles free, doesn't he, the American?
He can drive his knee through, he'll establish the mount. That's why you see JONG Kim trying to stop that knee from driving across his body.
He's just trying to get his right leg out of that leg hold that the Korean has on him. And meanwhile, he uses the right hands. 2 punches to the face and then comes under his arm and lands another 2.
What Man Kim needs to do is he needs to scoot his body out towards the center of the ring, away from the fence. He also needs to bring that left arm and try to put it up into his armpit, establish that underhook. That underhook is very, very, very important. Oh, great job of reestablishing the guard there as you hear the crowd's appreciation. Very educated crowd here in Singapore. With this being a brand new event here in Southeast Asia, Martial Combat has done a wonderful job of flying in international fighters. Obviously, this bout being from Korea and the United States. But the crowd here is obviously well educated. Singapore and the rest of Southeast Asia has really been anticipating mixed martial arts, making its way from mainstream United States into the rest of the world.
How about that? Knees to the base of the spine could do an awful lot of damage.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need to sit on a donut after those.
I'll be eating my donuts, Ray, thanks.
Good control here. Aaron Steele controlling the back of the head, grinding him into the fence, really trying to slow down the pace of this bout here.
Landing a couple of punches to the face. Jong really can't do a great deal with his head jammed against the canvas and with punches coming down in 1s and 2s. The referee calling upon them to work a little bit harder.
See Aaron basing up on his throat, using that hand down on his throat to try to posture up and land some effective striking. Capitalizing on it, he tried to pass to the half guard. He's got that underhook, and he's looking to drive through and pass. Now he's established that side control position, meaning he's no longer stuck in the guard being when both legs are wrapped around your opponent. Working with his head down low, it almost looks as if he's trying to set up that head and arm submission, with JONG Kim being so experienced.
Oh, and a turnaround. The Korean on top for the first time, having experienced a good couple of minutes with his back on the canvas, and down come the left-hand punches. The referee won't want to see too many of them unanswered, but here they come, not to the head, which would be a more serious situation, but they're raining down on the body there. There's going to be some bruised ribs in the morning, but it looks as if Steele will be saved by the bell. 6 seconds left of this 4th round. Oh, you can see the desperation in his face. Was toweled down by his trainer at the referee's instruction. 4 rounds in the book. And I think what we can say is that it's close. Aaron Steele certainly had the better of the first 2 rounds, but the Korean has had a good time of it in rounds 3 and 4. And it could well be that the winner of this round wins the contest and the Martial Combat Championship belt.
Good wing left hook by JONG Kim. I'd really like to see him follow that up. Right now what he's doing is he's winging that left hook anytime Aaron Steele steps in, but he's not following it up.
How about that for a high left kick to the Korean's jaw?
Partially blocked, though.
Didn't have the same impact as we've seen earlier. But for a fight that looks like it could well go to the distance, that's the kind of thing that will catch the judge's eye.
I mean, you have to wonder at what point in here is JONG Kim going to decide, listen, I'm not going to sit back and be content to lose a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point in this fight, you need to make the decision, either we're going to go for the knockout or we're going to go for the submission. Because if it goes as is, in my books, you're down 3 rounds to 1. And at that point, you need to try to finish the fight. I mean, you've already spent 20 minutes in a fill-out process, and if you spend 25 minutes, you're going to be the loser. So I'm not saying abandon strategy, but I am saying maybe revisit your initial strategy.
Yep, something needs to be done. If anyone's going to settle for this fight going the distance, it would probably be Aaron Steele, but must emphasize that's not confirmed. It is close, and the Korean, if he wins this round, may just edge it. We have 3 judges at ringside, and Ray Elby and Steve Dawson are neither of them, so bear that in mind.
I'm really impressed with the cardio here by Aaron. I mean, a 25-minute fight, for those of you that have never experienced that, it is a very difficult bout to train for, because we're not just training stand-up, we're not just training wrestling. What has to happen is you have to train all those transitions, and that's really what takes the gas out of the gas tank. So very, very, very impressive that these fighters are both still fighting forward.
Good leg work from Steele. A left and a right kick coming in. Korean, both men in fact fighting open mouth, feeling the pace. They've already done 20 minutes work before they started this round. It's easy to try and equate 5-minute rounds with the number of 3-minute rounds that you might see in, say, professional boxing, but bear in mind, these guys only get 1 minute of rest every 5 minutes. Now there, 2 left kicks to the Korean's left knee, the inside of his left knee, and that was something the Korean was doing earlier in the fight. And a left hand comes in, partially blocked by Aaron Steele. Oh, and he went down not from a blow. I think he just staggered. His foot was caught, and Jong Man Kim takes advantage.
None of these punches really landing, though. I think what Jong Man Kim needs to do is he needs to try to pass the guard. He needs to try to stand up, grab those legs, and throw them outside. You see Aaron doing a good job of controlling the wrist. One of the techniques that you use to counter that is turn the elbow over on the top of that glove. Land the elbow. Don't let him control your wrist like that.
Well, he's got inside the feet that were resting on his hips, and the Korean is landing punches now, and they are getting through. Punch after punch, left and right. The referee is standing just over them. Down they come. They're unanswered. It may not be long before the referee steps in. Steele's doing a good work of blocking, though, Ray.
UFC referee Steve Percival's doing a good job of keeping a close eye on the fighters. While a lot of these look like they're getting straight through, he's communicating with the fighter. He's talking to the fighter. I would definitely say that he's in jeopardy having this fight stopped here.
That is nearly 40 punches or so that have been unanswered. And sure enough,
what a comeback from behind victory, folks. This here is a wonderful win for the Korean fighter, bringing that super fight belt back to Seoul, South Korea, folks. And what a beautiful super fight belt that martial combat belt is.
Well, you called it, Ray Elby. You knew that the Korean was probably behind on points. And in the 5th round, he needed to pull it out of the bag. And unloading with 40 or so punches on a prostrate Aaron Steele, he did all that was needed for the referee to say, I've seen enough.
At the point that the fighter is no longer intelligently defending himself, meaning all he's doing is covering up, he's not trying to improve position, that's when the bout was called. He gave the fighter ample time to try to work out of a bad position, to try to replace his guard, try to work back up to his feet, really not wanting to intervene in the fight. You have to give a hands up to the referee. There's a reason why Martial Combat flew him in from Australia and simply stated because he's the best in the business.
Well, I was looking and I didn't see any punches come back from Aaron Steele while those blows were coming down on him. Good decision by the referee. And we'll hear from our ring announcer, Uday Joshi.
The winner is the blue corner, and now with 35 wins in MMA, JONG Man Kim!
Congratulations. How does it feel bringing the super fight martial combat belt back to Korea?
싱가포르에서 US팬 스타스포츠에서 만든 이 경기에 대해서 일단 영광을 생각하고 더군다나 더 첫 경기에 스포파이트를 잡아 지켜주기 정말 감사드린다고 기회를 소개시켜준 네오파이츠도 정말 감사드립니다. 정말 갖고 싶었습니다. 더 이상 말로 표현할 수 없습니다.
Jongman says he's really happy. He's honored to fight for ESPN Star and martial combat. He's glad to bring the belt back to Korea.
Walk us through the chain of events in the beginning of the fight. It looks like you threw a left cross and cut him over the forehead. Was that from a punch or was that from a headbutt?
예, 아니 같이 처음에 한 대 맞고 바로 그거 보고 받아쳤죠.
He was coming in and then it's like a counter punch.
Through the fights, he threw actually some nice kicks as well. Did he hurt you at any time in the fight? It looked like he threw a left kick to the neck. Did that stun you?
상대 발차기 했을 때 다친 건 없지. 네가 아프진 않았지.
예, 그 별로 이렇게 강하게는 가지만 데미지는 그렇게.
Jongman said it was good kicks, but he wasn't hurt. Yeah.
So you weren't hurt, so obviously because you came back to win the fight. So what was the strategy coming in, knowing he's a wrestling specialist? Did you train any differently? I know you're a submission specialist, but how well did you prepare for this fight?
상대가 레슬링이고 주짓수니까 다르게 훈련하는 방법이 있었나?
상대 영상을 오래된 거 하나 봤는데 좀 까다롭지만 충분히 해볼 만한 상대라고 생각했고 제 방식대로 풀었는데 그게 맞았던 것 같습니다.
He didn't change it. He just did it with his method, so he just trained hard.
Okay, one last thing I need you to do. Now you have millions of fans all across Asia, not just in Korea. Do you have any last words for your fans all across Asia?
아시아의 모든 팬들 마지막 하고 싶은 말은?
아시아의 마샤 컴뱃 MMA 팬 여러분, 저 김종만의 팬이 되주십시오. 제 김종만의 팬이 되주신다면 깨지고 박살나도 항상 일어설 수 있습니다. 그리고 마지막으로 저를 낳아주신 부모님 정말 감사드립니다.
Jongman says to the fans of martial sport, please become his fan. If you become Jongman's fan, he'll fight for you, he'll bleed for you, he'll sweat for you, he'll do whatever it takes to be a champion. And lastly, he likes to thank his parents, his mom and pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause to martial combat super fight champion, JONG.